Religious cohesion there. Now, Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning Zainab Ahmed says the federal government plans to make additional provisions for fuel subsidy in the 2022 budget. The minister said this on Monday at a meeting with the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawal, at the National Assembly complex in Abuja. The report.
Stating the fact that we did make a provision in the 2022 budget for fuel subsidy for January 22. And that suggests that from July there will be no subsidy. And this provision was made sequel to the passage of the Petroleum Industry Act that has made a provision that all products will be deregulated. Subsequent to the passage of the act, we went back and amended the fiscal framework that was submitted to National Assembly to incorporate this demand. But after the budget was passed, and we have had consultations with a number of stakeholders, it became clear that the timing is problematic, that practically there is still heightened inflation, and also removal of subsidy will further worsen the situation, thereby imposing more difficulties on the citizens. And Mr. President clearly does not want to do that. So what we have to do now is to continue with the discussions that we're making in terms of putting in place a number of measures, one of which is the deployment of an alternative to the PMS, which is the CND, and also the rollout of enhanced refining capacity in the country, including the 650,000 barrels per day Dangote refinery, and also the rehabilitation of the 4 national refineries that have a combined nameplate capacity of 450,000 barrels per day.
President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawal, convened a meeting with Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, ICYMI Silva, with representatives of oil companies in attendance. The meeting focused on the controversy over the planned removal of fuel subsidy by the federal government.
All in search of ways and means of ensuring that ordinary Nigerian does not suffer any hardship, that when the subsidy will be removed, eventually it will be at such a point at which the hardship will be very minimal and would have been taken care of by several programs or projects or empowerments. And it's not about NLC. NLC, how many people are NLC or TUC? We're talking about every Nigerian, and NLC is just an organized part of the system. But we are concerned beyond the NLC. And I'm taking this opportunity to appeal to TUC and NLC to share this plan to go on strike or demonstration. Is totally unnecessary. There is not going to be no subsidy, so there is no need for this. Please, let's not create unnecessary tension where there should be none.
Very clear. It is clear to the blind and audible to the deaf that it is not possible at this time for us to remove the subsidy. We know that some naysayers, some political people will try to make political capital out of it, but it is not within the contemplation now of this administration to remove subsidy. But of course, if there are legislative enablers that will also ensure that it is within the law, then I think it's a legislative responsibility.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Labour Congress has warned the federal government against plans to remove the fuel subsidy in 2022, saying the action will be met with nationwide protests. The Congress said the planned rallies would commence without warning should the government announce new fuel prices ahead of the scheduled protest rallies in all the states of the Federation. The protest is slated for Thursday, January 27th, and will climax with the submission of protest letters to all the 36 state governors.